Welcome to TCC Talk. I'm your host TJ Daly, and today we're talking about the HTC ONE M8. "2013 was a year in which HTC really needed to separate themselves from the rest of the mobile industry. What they did was they took a look at design trends and the aesthetic of the current mobile devices out there and decided that would be the way they set themselves apart. That is what led to the launch of the HTC ONE M7. 2014 has now blessed us with the launch of the HTC ONE M8. When I first got this phone, being a Samsung user and having used the Note 2, S3, Note 3, and S4 as my last four devices, I was absolutely blown away. I saw this, I felt that rounded, curved back in my hand. I looked at the lines and how clean they were. Look at these lines. And I went out and recommended it immediately based solely on design and no use at all to two family members. I know that's not the smartest thing to do, but it had that much of an impact on me. The one concern that I did have with an all-metal housing is cellular reception. You know, we live in the Midwest and I spend a lot of time in rural areas, so cell phone reception can be an issue. I was extremely concerned when I saw this, but let me tell you, HTC really took it to the next level and designed this perfectly. I have no issues with cell phone reception degradation at all. As a matter of fact, at times I feel like it's even better. So as far as the design of this phone is concerned, it's immaculate. I don't know about you, but the first thing I do when I get a phone is turn it on. This phone definitely has a screen that is on par with any screen out there in the market. It's very clear, sharp at the same time, very colorful, bright, and it's a great size. It's definitely not the watch size screen that Apple wants to force everyone into using, which hopefully they will change soon. And of course, it is on par with what Samsung has out there with their regular size devices. Of course, if this 5-inch screen isn't enough for you, you can go get the HTC ONE Max, which is the size of a skyscraper. Another piece of this phone that's interesting and something I want to note is the storage. It does come with 16 gigabytes of onboard storage and is expandable if you want to add another 128 gigabyte SD card. The most important feature in the HTC Sense overlay, I would say, is the blink feed. The blink feed is something you can configure on the phone or something you can configure online and push those settings to your phone. What it is it's a screen that sets to the left of your home screen. And what you do when you configure it is you go on and you look at different categories of consumable data, whether it be your social networks, whether it be news, and then different categories of news, world, US, whatever, sport, things of that nature. And you can go in based on your likes, your wants, your needs, and you can configure these specific modules of information to be delivered to you how you want them. So if you're not a sports person, but you want to know just enough to have that water cooler conversation, then you may want the highlights of sports. If you're really into politics, you may want 4 or 5 different segments underneath the politics header. So the blink feed is a really useful tool when it comes to consuming your data. It's always there. It does a really good job of providing you relevant and powerful information right at your fingertips. So I would definitely say that's a big win in terms of HTC Sense 6. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the battery super saver mode. Now, that seems pretty obvious. Okay, I get it. I understand what that means. But you know, to expand a little bit into to when you would want to use this particular mode outside of I'm not going to be around a charger for a while, something that some people don't know or don't understand why it happens. When you're in an area, let me use Las Vegas as an example. When you're in an area like that where you're spending a lot of time indoors and there's a lot of built up buildings around you, your phone has a lot of trouble finding a tower to attach to. So you'll notice if you make a trip there and you've got your phone on, 5 hours into the day, it's probably pretty close to dead. So if you know you're going to be in an area like that, turning on a mode like Super Battery Saver, which really takes all the processes, all the behind the scenes processes and turns all the ones you don't need, leaving just the vital processes on, turns the rest of those off so that your phone will last that couple extra hours when you're in a situation like that, or a situation where you're not going to be around a charger. Oh, it's so smooth. But let's get more granular. Let's talk about the technical aspects of this particular device. It does feature a 5-inch screen. That 5-inch screen has 441 ppi. It is an IPS screen, which gives you amazing visual clarity from multiple viewing angles. As far as video recording is concerned, it records at 60 frames per second, full 1080p. The processor that it features is a Snapdragon 800 series quad-core, which has one really cool thing about it. It features a technology that Qualcomm will be introducing end of Q3, early Q4, and that technology is the Quick Charge 2. The Quick Charge 2 will allow you to charge your phone up to 75% faster than you have been able to charge it in the past. From a graphics processing standpoint, it features an Adreno 330. From a memory standpoint, it's got 2 gigabytes of onboard memory. Last but not least, with a phone like this, all these amazing features and all this power wrapped into this tight little beautiful metal device, you would think it would die the second you turn it on, but it won't. It's got a 2600 milliamp battery, gives you amazing battery life, and guess what? If you don't have a chance to charge it, or if you're not by an outlet, or if you're in Vegas like we talked about earlier, you've got that super power saver mode, making this the perfect phone when it comes to power and battery balance. Oh no. Let me tell you about some features specific to HTC Sense that I really like. The thing that stands out for me, and something that I really missed when I switched from HTC to Samsung for a while, is the ability to dial by name. If you want to dial somebody if you want to use the dialer in one of these other phones, you normally have to go through your phone book or your favorites. HTC gives you the ability to bring up your dial pad and just start typing in the person's name on the keypad, and then the contacts come up that correspond with the letters you type. So it's a lot easier to search through a phone book. And nowadays you got 400, 500, 1,000 names in your phone book. So that HTC Sense feature makes it really convenient to go through your phone book. From a texting perspective, it works really well. It's snappy. You have the ability, like on most devices now, to have group text messages and converse that way, whereas some of these older devices didn't really have the ability, and you would get, when somebody would send a group text, your response would go back to a particular individual, or each person as an individual response, so you can do that. It does give you the ability, this specific phone on our network actually gives you the ability to use Verizon's text messaging interface. So that is another option if you don't like what HTC has built into the particular phone. From a call standpoint, it's really cool. Great clarity on both ends, hearing and speaking. One of the other things from a usability perspective that I actually wanted to touch on is the boom sound, and is the outward-facing speakers. We'll probably talk about those a little bit more in detail later, but whenever you're utilizing any of the music services built in, whether you're a Spotify person or a Beats by Dre or Beats Music person, or you use the built-in HTC Music app, it activates boom sound and really generates a clear, crisp audio experience outside of the speakers on the device. So that software connectivity that allows that to happen is a pretty cool thing. One other piece of software that I really enjoy is the gallery. The way they have the gallery set up. You can view your video or your photos in kind of a video montage just by clicking on them. There's a number of different ways to sort the photos you have on the phone. So if you don't want to look at them by date taken, you can look at them by album. It's just a really robust application, a lot better than a lot of the other apps out there in terms of viewing a large amount of photos, which anytime nowadays, most of us have a pretty large amount of photos on your phone. So those are some of the things that I've noticed that have really stood out to me, that outside of the standard Android features really go above and beyond what some of the other applications out there do. Instagram, what? Not approving my user request. Why do you hate on me? The HTC ONE M8 has 4 ultra pixels, which make for amazing low light photos. Not only does it have that, it's got 2 cameras. Why 2 cameras? They want to give you the ability to capture depth of field so that you can set focal point at a later time. It's their U-focus feature. So if you take a picture of something and you want the focal point to change from the foreground to the background or somewhere else in the picture, you can do that. You can't really do that with any other camera out there. They also have, and from what I've heard and what I've experienced, a second to none front-facing camera. So if you're a selfie master, if you like to craft these wonderful visions of yourself, these awesome selfies, then this is the camera for you. Selfie in the office, throw back in the dark, blind as a bat. So if you're looking for an amazing camera to take pictures in regular light, low light, and pictures of yourself, this is the way to go. As far as video recording is concerned, we talked about it a little bit earlier. It records 60 frames per second, 1080p. Layman's terms, that is crystal clear and buttery smooth. Once you've captured the video on your device, you also have the ability to edit it right there. You can even add some really cool video themes that they have, built in here, which kind of can give, the image or the video you've captured your own little flair for when you present it to your friends and family. Now, when I first got this device and I opened up my app of choice for music, I was blown away. I would describe it for you, but I'm really at a loss for words. It's something that you need to experience yourself. So if you've been a Samsung user, if you've been an iPhone user, if you've been a Nokia user, go into your local TCC store, pick up that M8, open the music app, and play something. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. Such a pretty phone, oh, it's the best ever. Final thoughts. Best design in the market, amazing multimedia capabilities, powerhouse of a phone from a technical standpoint, great battery life. I don't see why not.